Hey, everybody. Jim Cummings here. Welcome to my podcast, Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. We have a great guest for you today. But before we get to that, make sure you like and subscribe. Our podcast has partnered with the largest Comic-Con in North America, Fan Expo, the Juggernaut. We're touring all over North America live, so get your tickets and come be a part of the live audience. It'll be fun. Go to fanexpohq.com for the tickets. We'll see you in a city near you, or a little bit away, but you can drive. And with all that said and done, sit back and enjoy today's episode. And as always, thanks for tuning in to Toon'd In with Jim Cummings.
What do you think the most altered your voice has ever been, Jim? I have one in mind that I can think of, but I'm curious what you think.
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I don't know that they've altered it a lot about anything, about many things anyway. I know that I remember when the great John Fiedler passed away and they had to recast Piglet. Travis Oates was there, and he was just right. I mean, he was just right on the cusp of it. And we did one. This is my one engineering trick that I did. I said, "Can you record that and speed it up 3%?" And the engineer looked at me like, "Well, this happens to be my job, but okay, I'll humor you." And he did it, and Piglet jumped out, and Rick Dempsey was there from Disney Character Voice, and he goes, "That's perfect. Good job, whack." And so that was my one contribution to being on that side of the glass.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
The voice I had in my mind was your voice in, I feel like this counts, but your voice in as the Master in Fallout. Because it was like a combination of two performances. And then I think they kind of like digitized your voice a little bit to kind of give it that like creative.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Yes, I agree. Yeah. And then I have a little trick that I do
when I have to sound like a slow motion voice. Well, what have we here?
That's a little thing you could do.
I love that.
Yeah, and all I'm doing is sticking the tip of my tongue on the back of my teeth, on the roof of my tongue, and then speaking slowly because it's hard to articulate.
And it's hard to say stuff, too. Oh, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Have you ever heard sometimes they'll glue an actor's upper lip to their gums? They'll glue their upper lip to their gums to give them a lisp. To give them a lisp. It gives you like a lisp. If you're
I say one thing. Let's get over there. I should think. Let's go and have a cup of tea together, shall we?
There was Terry Thomas was the old comedic actor from England, and he used to go, before he would do it, he would dry off his gums, stick his
lip up there, and away we go. Yes, let's do it, shall we?
And it's just goofy,
That's
David liked it, so that's good. He'll be doing that soon. But
did he have like a gap in his front teeth? Was that the same
yes,
actor?
that was he.
I remember. Okay, I know who he is. Okay.
Yeah. And I had to do Darth Vader a couple of times, which is terrible because I couldn't. But it was, exactly. Who? But and it was for some local Ford commercial back in 1984 or something, And I got I don't have one here, but I had a coffee can empty.
And the Force is strong in this one.
And I did it into a coffee can and stuck the coffee can over here. And right before it started to feed back, I would do the line. And that was it.
That's wonderful. And coffee cans, that's about right. I think it's like an 8 millisecond delay is the voice process for Vader.
Oh, wow.
So that'd be about right. Yeah.
I did not know that. I'll alert Maxwell House right away.
Special dark roast. Their Vader roast.
Yeah, there's a preference there. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Were you just always fascinated by the sounds, by the lion roars, by the this, the that? I mean,
all of it. I think when I was a kid, I think what I really wanted to be when I was a kid was a stop motion animator.
Oh.
I was fascinated with like Ray Harryhausen. That was who I really wanted to be when I was little.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Ray Harryhausen. He was like a stop motion animator. He did movies like Golden Voyage of Sinbad and Clash of the Titans and
Jason and the Argonauts,
which is awesome. I love that movie.
Yeah, me too.
But total pioneer in visual effects, basically, is what Harryhausen is. And sort of like Phil Tippett was like a disciple of his, and if you know Phil Tippett is, he's sort of the next level of that stop motion animator. He sort of bridged stop motion into visual effects. But yeah, I early on in film career, I thought I was going to be a picture editor. I knew I wanted to work in a dark room by myself. I think that's just that's my happy place.
There you go.
Yeah, but I kind of got the sound bug. And I was just like, oh, I think I like this, and I think I'm okay at it, and so maybe I can make a career out of this, and here we go.
Wow. What was your first gig when you said, you know what? Okay, I'm in. I'm going to do this. I'm there. I'm probably going to work next year too, that type of thing.
Well, when I first started, I was in production. So my very first gig was a movie called 12 Monkeys back in the mid-90s.
Yes. Brad Pitt and
Bruce Willis.
Yep. Right?
Terry Gilliam.
That was a hell of a movie. Wow. I
was a special effects, on-set special effects technician. There was a lot of like with a little fogger and a wafter and one around stage fogging. That was me. And I met the sound guys, the production sound guys on that show, Jay and Randy, and Jay Mahar. If you're out there, Jay, I love you. I miss you. Thank you for everything. Jay was a sound mixer and ended up hiring me for several years after that. And I was like a boom operator and his assistant and that kind of thing. And after 7 years of production, I worked my way into post at Skywalker. After not knocking on their door for a couple of years, Matt Wood finally let me in. And that first job was Attack of the Clones. And I think I was blown away at it was like I didn't know anything about post. All I knew was I wanted to do it, and I wanted to sort of learn everything. And Matt took a chance on me, this enthusiastic guy who's doing a career change at 30, basically, and it's that's kind of been my path ever since.
Yeah, and it worked out. Congratulations.
It worked out okay. Yeah,
yes,
thanks.
it did.
Yeah, that was 25 years ago. Yeah. So 32 years in film business, 25 at Skywalker.
And that led you all the way up to an Oscar nomination. How did that feel?
That was crazy. Yeah. So that was for Force Awakens. We had for sound editing, when there was a separate sound editing award at the time. Matthew Wood and I co-supervised Force Awakens and got a nomination for that. And that was just mind-blowing. Especially because there hadn't been a Star Wars movie in forever, and I love that movie. I thought it was really cool, and proud of it too. Proud of the way it sounds, and so it was fun. We got a BAFTA nomination, we got an Oscar nomination, and lost both, but I didn't care. I was having a blast. We just like it was just like it was surreal just to kind of be on that stage and just be around all these. So much talent, and it was just fun. It was just a lot of fun. Then we got another nomination together, Matt and I, for Rise of Skywalker in 2019, 2020. It's fun. It's as somebody told me, it's like you just got to like just savor every second of those moments, because you don't know, it'll probably never happen again, and you just got to like sort of cling to that and live in the moment, and boy did we had a great time. Yeah,
that's one of the tenets I live by. Savor them. Don't tomorrow I'll be here. Don't worry about it. Just be here now, and
tomorrow's gonna come.
Yeah, and it's so true, because I remember different things in my life when I'm sitting there and I'm getting ready to sing something or do something, and I just have to pinch myself, and I jokingly say it's stuff used to get me kicked out of class, but if you do it well enough, somebody will pay you. And if you do it really well enough, they will threaten to give you an award, which I've never won, but it's the thought that counts. Okay, it would be the reward would be in the award too. just in case anybody's listening to this. But yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to get an award once in a while.
No, it does not.
And sounds really stick with you. Like we were just talking about The Force Awakens. I was just thinking to myself, I remember distinctly like the sound. I forget what it was like. Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren, and like I don't know, it was some like night scene, but I remember vividly like Kylo Ren stopping. You know, he uses the Force to stop the laser gun, whatever. Yeah, the laser in midair, and I remember like the crackle and like the suspense, and boy, that was such a cool effect. Or like even you know his like his new
sound. Yeah.
You did that sound?
No kidding.
I was hoping you did that sound. Look at that instinct
That's
right
amazing.
there.
Hooray!
Can you elaborate on that then?
Oh, here's
I know it's
into me is like after about a year, I kind of unload sound or memories about that kind of thing in my brain. It's one of those sounds that we had. We prepped when you're prepping, when you're editing before you get to the mix. You prep all these sounds in Pro Tools is the software we use. In Pro Tools, so we have these layers of things. They get mixed in, and you get to the final mix stage, and you've got everybody on stage, picture editors and producers and director, and certain sounds in the moment for whatever reason. You know what? Let's swap that out for something else. That's not working for whatever reason. Everybody dialogue happens to dialogue, it happens to music, it happens to sound effects. And so you have like a thing that you maybe spent a whole day or 2 or 3 days making. You got to like make a new thing in about 15 minutes.
Oh, there you go.
And so you're like,
so no pressure. That's good.
No pressure. And so you kind of like, you run back to your edit room and you put this together, add this, say, what if I do this, and run back to stage and you try it. And maybe like the second or third one of those are like, great, that's it. And so that was one of those sounds where like, it was such a scramble and probably 4 different versions before we landed on something we liked. I couldn't tell you what
Wow.
what the source was at this point.
I mean, it obviously paid off because I haven't seen that movie in years, and I've only probably seen that movie like twice. And that it just stuck in my head for whatever reason. Obviously, it's a very impactful scene too. It's a really cool cinematic moment as well. Yeah. But that's just so cool. And like, I mean, sounds are so essential to us, to our core as humans. Like a sound can bring you back to a specific moment, a specific memory, your childhood. I mean, Jim, you see it all the time, right? Fans coming up and you do a voice and boom, you're back in childhood. Boom, you're back, sitting in front of your TV as a 3-year-old or whatever it is, It's a very powerful thing. Yeah,
music and sound and voices and everything. It's if Fess Parker were here, I would just be singing the Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, because it's just that voice pops out and you go, boom, you're 5 years old or however old you were. I do that with Beatles songs all the time and the Temptation songs. Okay, I was a sophomore. I was, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. It was blah, blah, blah. And that's, I think sounds and smells and more so than visuals really are evocative of the past, of beautiful times, and it's, that's a very potent mix. The more of that you can get together, the better.
Absolutely.
We need a smell-o-vision for movies now.
Yes.
Futurama. When the professor makes that smelloscope. I don't know if you guys know the reference I'm talking about, but
and
Professor
what was
Futurama.
The movie Brainwave. Remember that?
What is that? I know.
Yeah, and it was where you put on a hat and you were transported just about through all of your senses into the scene. So so you can imagine the applications of the scene. And yes, there was a guy who abused it by getting some pornography, and he was and almost lost his. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, Brainwave, and I want to say Natalie Wood was in it.
That's right. I think it was her last movie.
I think it was too.
Brainstorm.
There,
Chris Walken
right.
and yeah.
Yes,
I need to watch that. I don't think I've seen that since it came out. That's great.
Neither have I.
Do you have an example? I heard you talking on another podcast. I'm stealing this question from them, but it was a good question, so I'm going to ask you for a variation of it. The host had asked you about examples of good sound design or like phenomenal sound design in movies that you'd seen, and you gave the example of 3:10 to Yuma, which is I thought was a great movie, and I didn't even think about the sound in that. But for me personally, I want to know what you think about. Have you ever seen the movie Annihilation with Natalie Portman?
Oh yeah,
I thought that was some great sound design, just really unique and like the creepy alien, and the soundtrack was phenomenal. And what in your opinion is like a really good example of sound design that you just love?
It's a tough one. There's just so many directions you can kind of go with that. I think somebody was asking me a similar question the other day, and you're familiar with the Hitchcock movie, The Birds, right? You know that one.
Yeah.
I like that for sound design. That's an interesting one that I kind of think about a lot, is that there's no score in that movie. If that movie doesn't have an actual score, but what it does have is a million birds, and
Yes.
most of those birds are performed with a synthesizer. It was one of the first synthesizer used.
That was an early
so they
one.
had this really weird, one-off synthesizer thing they were doing, and some of those birds are recording. A lot of the bird sounds in that movie are synthesized, not even real birds.
I didn't know that. Wow.
It's sort of a weird hybrid of a score and sound design in the birds, if you really kind of think about it. And I think that's kind of fascinating, and I can't believe nobody's replicated that or tried to do anything like that since, or maybe they have and I've just missed it. But that's a movie that always kind of fascinates me as sort of like a truly unique sounding movie that I think gets overlooked a lot.
And there was a movie out just within the past 10 years that only had drums as a sound. And what was it? Yeah, gosh. And oh my gosh, I saw a little mini documentary on the guy who was doing it, and he was just a big percussionist, and he had broken cymbals, he had broken drums, he had woo woo, whatever those things were, and the whole thing was just drums. And gosh, I can't think of the name of it. Somebody call me up on the
Let us know in the comments.
Here. Let us know in the comments. Yes, you know the one. And the guy was a great drummer, and he went on to become Reed Richards in one of the Fantastic Four movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Obviously not Pedro
Well, I like
Pascal.
that.
No, it was not he. It was.
I like that stuff. I like people just kind of get outside the box with score, with sounds like that, and just really do something unexpected. That's really what I think people really want to see and hear, is the unexpected. I think that's some of the modern success of non-franchise type movies in the theater is, I think people are really craving some truly original, things to see and hear and experience, and which I'm all for it. I want that too.
Yeah.
And I guess that sort of extends to everything from, the score to the sound to the visuals to the writing, casting, anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I'm curious. I want to ask you one more question, just on the top of my mind on the subject of sound in movies. A movie like A Quiet Place, with John Krasinski.
Oh, yeah.
Is that, as a sound designer, as anybody in the sound department, is that more pressure or less pressure? Or like, are you guys committing highway robbery? Like, okay, this movie's quiet. Like, we're just here, add some footsteps on some leaves and we're good.
Yeah.
Or is it more like, oh man, like everything is really hyper focused,
I think when you have less sound like that, I think I mentioned Gravity earlier. When you have minimal sound like that, like in Quiet Place or like in Gravity, or there's a handful of movies that are like that. I think that's a much bigger challenge, because especially when you're selling that concept of it being quiet, there's generally not going to be a score in that moment either. So you are relying on these very subtle but sort of poignant or intricate sounds to kind of tell your tale to the audience of why it's like this, and you have to do it in a very quiet, subtle way. That's actually very complicated to do that versus, you know, I mean, I've worked on movies with giant space battle or, you know, an arena fight with a bunch of monsters are wonderful, amazing things to listen to. And it's just a feast for the ears. But I think probably a little easier than in one way anyway, than having like crafting something like A Quiet Place, which you have to be very, very specific about everything. You have to be very articulate about what you're doing and very careful because people are going to hear everything and they're going to pay attention to every little thing that you're doing. And you're selling an idea with your sound more than just, you know, being diegetic about it. You know?
Would you say in that vein, would you say that's similar to animation? Because I mean, there is no sound going into animation, so you kind of have to do all those things. I would imagine that, you know, doing sound for animation is a lot more tedious and or complex of a process than doing it for film and television.
Yeah. It can be, yeah. Animation, yeah, like you said, it's a blank slate. You're starting off with nothing. When, as Jim knows, when that's the first thing you do is record the voices. You make that radio play,
Yeah.
and then we build the visuals and the sound effects and the score around that. That's the major difference between animation and live action. So yeah, and things like Foley we mentioned earlier become incredibly important with animation because there is no on-set recordings of footsteps or anything. Everything has to be meticulously created. Sounds you're attaching to these characters to really bring them to life and really ground them in whatever space they're in and that kind of thing. And it is a lot. Doing sound for animation is very complicated and it's a lot of work for sure.
Have you how much of that have you done or have?
Quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, it's some show. I did 120 episodes of Clone Wars. And,
well, that's true. You know, it's funny because I think of animation and I think of Bugs Bunny or Tigger or something. But Clone Wars, right? Of course.
Yeah, a lot of Star Wars. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
and some Secret Life of Pets 1 and 2, Grinch, a handful of other things.
Well, that's pretty impressive, actually.
The Grinch, like Jim Carrey Grinch?
No. This is the Illumination movie, the animated movie that came out.
Oh, just a couple years ago.
Yeah, like 5 or 6 years ago, something like that. Yeah.
Jeez, has it been that long already? Time's flying.
2020, 2019, something like that. Yeah.
Dang, I feel like that just came out, but yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. I was going to say,
Yes,
and you're getting older. You know, there's that one too.
Yeah.
David, what's next? Do you have something that you want to do that you haven't quite gotten to do in your way or what have you? Is there anything on the horizon?
Yeah. I'm worked on a movie called Behemoth that comes out later this year. And I got an elimination project coming out sometime next year, I think. But what I keep hoping for that somebody's going to come to me with is a horror movie. I don't get to do enough horror movies. I'm a total horror movie nut. Jaws, Exorcist, those are some of my favorite movies. Like I want to do like a really good Obsession, which came out this year. I thought was a phenomenal horror movie. I want to do something like that. I want to do like a good, like just old school, like creepy. I don't care about the gore or anything like that. I just want a good, scary horror movie to work on. That'd be kind of a fun thing to do is build things with, tension, use, sound to build tension and that kind of fun stuff. Yeah. It'd be always fun to do.
Well, one more feather in your cap. It's getting crowded.
Or
in
a
there.
Western. A Western would be really fun to do.
Yeah.
A Western horror, you say?
Sure.
That actually might not be too very bad, right? You were in something similar.
I was just going to say, I was just in a Western zombie movie.
How about that?
Yeah.
Right on. There you go. Western horror.
Well, that's definitely Western horror.
It was a comedy though. It was a comedy.
Okay.
It's but yeah, it was a Western zombie movie with Billy Zane.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting.
You were third corpse on the left, right? Or no?
No, I had a speaking role, damn it.
That's right.
I was on set for 4 whole days.
There you go. Nice. Should we do a commercial for that? When is it coming out, or do we know? We'll have to wait.
I actually just saw it. I went to a premiere 2 weeks ago. I went to it was a actor producer who worked with my dad, and he invited me to a premiere of one of his other movies, which was a horror movie, indie horror movie. And one way or another, the commercial was actually for that movie, for the zombie western.
Oh,
was
wow.
actually
How cool was that?
before that movie, and I was like, no way. This was
pretty cool.
unexpected. Yeah, I was hyped. I went by myself, and I turned to the guy next to me. I was like, I'm in this movie. He looked at me like,
You're like,
okay.
okay.
And the guy goes, "I'm from California. Of course you are." I'm probably in it too. Yeah.
Well, speaking of horror movies, David, and sound, I feel like I want to know your opinion of this, because I feel like I was not a fan of horror movies for the longest time because I'm a very jumpy person. Like, I'm just a jumpy person. And I feel like a lot of horror movies cheap out with the jump scare. You know, it's just a cheap way to scare somebody. And it's not scary. Like I always say, it's just, it annoys me more than anything, because it's just like, we could be right here and somebody go, oh, you know, and it could make you like, whoa, like, you know, that's just a natural reflex. It's not scary. So I don't really enjoy sitting in a movie for an hour and a half, you know, just constant loud music, bang, bang, bang. I would imagine that that's also, you know, a challenge and a talent in and of itself to know when to go, you know, really loud, or when to have those moments. Is that maybe why you're drawn to that genre?
Oh, I don't know. I think I just like being scared. I think that's I think that's what people like in watching horror movies is it's an emotion that, you know, on our day to day, we don't feel, you know what I mean? And it's in us. Fear is in us. And so if you could watch something knowing full well that you're in a safe space, you're in a theater or in your home or whatever, and evoke that emotion that you don't get to tap very often, there's something kind of exciting about that.
Gets the adrenaline going.
It's kind of like roller coasters. It's why we like roller coasters.
Totally.
You're not really in danger, but boy, it feels like it.
Yeah, exactly. You know you're going to be okay, but in the moment, like there's that Neanderthal brain or whatever we have is kind of like, I'm going to die. And you just, you know, and that's everything kind of gets amped up. And no, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. We all have problems.
Like I say, I think we might be a little crazy. I don't know.
That's true. That's true.
Well, that's fascinating. I feel like I learned some stuff, and sound to me just seems like such a creative process. It seems like it's so much fun.
Yeah.
We all have, that's the thing. This place, I work at Skywalker. Everybody here is kind of just having fun, and we love our job. It's a job, obviously, and you got deadlines, and you got to, like, you know,
make sounds in 15 minutes.
Make sounds and please people, and you know, and try and get it right. And when a director or somebody is, you know, says, like, you know, directing a sound to you, I want the sound to sound like this, and the direction might be like, it really has to sound like really cold or really blue. And you're like, I don't. That's not. What do you do? And so you'd have to kind of like, what does it look like in the scene? What does that mean? What does that mean to be cold? Like, and you have to kind of like get inside of that sort of world of inside somebody else's head of how they describe things. That's a very complex thing to do. Anyway, kind of going off track here, but yes, we have a lot of fun. I enjoy my job. I don't have any plans to retire anytime soon. As long as my ears hold up, I'm probably
because why would you?
Job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, you know, people are paying you to do something that you love.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's my old definition for perfect job.
Yep, exactly that.
Yeah.
I feel very lucky. I'm very fortunate to do what I do, and it's not lost on me.
Yeah. Well, Godspeed.
Well, your passion shows. It really does.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, many happy returns. And it's funny because this is the part of the podcast where we usually do a voice swap. And we won't be doing that today. Right, Christopher?
Wait, actually, no. Can you actually give us the pre-mixed Grogu? Like, what is the voice that you record going in?
God.
Now,
Okay,
you know what it is somebody will do one of their characters and I'll do one of mine, but I'll use their line, you know, like Winnie the Pooh saying something from Darth Vader or what, you know. So that's the crux of it.
It's going to sound ridiculous because my voice is so deep. It's not going to sound like Grogu at all, but it's just the trick to doing Grogu is he's just a weird little baby. It's just a weird little baby that can't. He's 50 in the movie, and he's a 50-year-old baby. So you know that he's got 50 years of experience, but he still has like sort of the mind of a toddler. But at times it seems like he might be a little bit older, wiser. But some of the thing, it's just making up baby talk sounds, and then making up words that might sound like something but aren't, like Batu. And I don't really have like sometimes I'll just pick up a piece of paper and I'll just start picking up words and make those into like Aska Pukututu Pata Montu Mantovi. And then you take those words and you kind of like chop them up, you pitch them up, you add a little baddie.
You know what? That's actually closer than I thought it was going to be.
Wow.
That was closer to the sound that I thought it was going to be.
That was pretty good. I better watch my back. You know, that was surprising. I was thinking, wow, how's he doing that? Oh, he's just doing it. Stupid. Yeah. Oh my God. Fantastic.
Well, that was great. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you,
Appreciate
David.
it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just want to thank you again for being here, David Acord. That was really fascinating. I like it when we do these episodes with like, people that are, not necessarily voice actors, kind of broadening the horizon of the entertainment industry. Cause there's just so many, I've been around this industry my entire life and like, I have no idea. Like I see these credits. My dad used to make me sit through all of the credits and everything we watched. And I didn't really like it at first, but I do it to this day because to me that's showing respect and appreciation for everybody that worked on a work of art. That's what it is at the end of the day. Be it cartoons, be it television, movies, it's all making art. And all these people were required to make it. So that's just really cool. And I learned some stuff today, which I knew I was going to. But I just want to thank you again. Thank you, Jim, as always. And thank you guys all for watching. We really appreciate you. This podcast couldn't happen without you. It just really couldn't. You guys are the grease that's keeping the wheel oiled. And I don't say that sarcastically.
Please. Stay greasy.
I really don't.
Stay greasy.
Be sure to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. It really helps us. Tells us what you like. It helps you, curates your little playlist. And I do it all the time. I subscribe to everybody that I'm interested in and want to see more of because you never know. Sometimes you can click on a video and you'll never see it again. And if you want to see this content, you like it so much that you want to see more, we're on Patreon as well. And we just started memberships on YouTube, which is like the YouTube version of Patreon. So if you're in either of those two memberships, then you can see exclusive stuff that nobody else gets to see. We don't air anywhere else. Extended interviews, contests, giveaways. We're coming out with a lot more stuff for all that. So stay tuned on that. And with all that said and done, once again, David, thank you so much for being here. I'm producer Chris, the legend himself, Mr. Jim Cummings. We will see you guys in the next one.
Thank you.